So obviously Call of Duty is one of the most popular and well-known game titles in the world for a very long time too. So today I'm going to rank them all on what I think is the best and worst. So damn, looking at the tier list at the bottom right here, we've got a lot of CODs. That looks like 40 or something. Looks like they're including like COD Mobile and stuff like that. I could be wrong. Anyway, I'm going to get started with the ones that I haven't played. As a 26-year-old dude, don't sue me if I haven't played the older ones. Yes, I've played the OG ones, but not the super OG ones. So I'm going to put all of them in the never played section. It also looks like this list has a lot of DLCs, so I'm just going to chuck that in never played as well. I don't know what the hell Call of Duty Heroes is. If you know what that is, let me know down below. I'm also going to put the zombies in the never played section, because in my opinion, if I look at Black Ops 1 for instance, that includes zombies. Zombies is not a separate entity. So yeah, now it looks like we're left with the list of CODs that I actually have played. Now, if you know this channel, you know me, you already know what I'm going to put at the very top. And that's Black Ops 2, man, no doubt. The multiplayer just felt so good. The colors were vibrant, but it wasn't too colorful. And I feel like the community of Call of Duty peaked here in Black Ops 2. Zombies was great. Every map pack was great. This was the first game that introduced DLC weapon skins, I believed, for $2 a pop, and that was so good. The sniping community was booming, the zombies community was booming, and even the campaign was actually pretty good. But yeah, man, if you know me, I'm still playing Black Ops 2 to this day, so of course it has to be at the very top up there. Now an interesting one we got is Call of Duty MW3. I'm talking the newest one. Now this one came out last year, and in my opinion, it was actually pretty good. It was solid, it was fast-paced, light, but still had weight to it. I don't know if that makes sense. Obviously it had a lot of fan service with MW2, and I feel like they actually did a pretty good job at the live service thing, like keeping everyone up to date with events and all that. I don't know where you guys are going to put it, but I would put it in the great category. And you know, Modern Warfare 3 was kind of a DLC to the game that came before it. And that was MW2 2022. I think it came out in that year. I don't know, don't sue me if it's wrong. But that was bro. I remember playing the beta and that was really good. But the game itself, when it came out, was just super slow. The maps were terrible. And like the visual recoil and realism of everything was way too much. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the trash. Another one that belongs in the trash, I'm sorry if you hate me, but Call of Duty Vanguard. I just don't like the setting. I don't like the guns. And I felt like the graphics were heaps shitter than the CODs before it. It was very fast, I'll give it that. But I don't know, I just really did not like this COD. I did not like Call of Duty Vanguard. I believe Vanguard was made by Sledgehammer, and another Sledgehammer game was Call of Duty World War II. I actually have pretty fond memories of this game. Nothing crazy. The HQ, like the hub where everyone could meet, that was super cool. You could call in care packages and things like that. The sniping felt super clean. But when I think about it, I can't really tell you a memorable map. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the mid. Another mid game, Black Ops 4. I'm not going to say too much about this one. It was pretty much just Black Ops 3 without jetpacks. I don't even think this COD had a campaign. Not that people play COD campaigns anyway, but just super interesting. However, interestingly enough, with Black Ops 4 came Call of Duty Blackout. And that was pretty much their first shot at Battle Royale, and this thing was sick. I remember playing heaps of rounds of it. And even though it was a feature in Black Ops 4, I do not tie them together. I know that goes against what I was saying with the COD Black Ops Zombies thing, but in my opinion, Blackout was a completely different thing. And you know, if I had to rate it, I would put it in the good section. It was pretty fun. It was solid. Now, because Blackout was kind of a spin-off, I'm going to knock out some other spin-off sort of things. I'm looking here at Call of Duty Online. I've actually never played it, but I've watched a lot of videos on it. It looks absolutely sick. But yeah, with limited knowledge on it, I'm only going to put it at good. Another spin-off thing, Warzone Mobile. I tried it. It's Warzone on mobile. You know, I'm not really a Warzone dude, but it's on phone, which is pretty cool. But of course, I have to put it at mid. Something like COD 4. I remember playing this for the first time at an internet cafe on a PC. I'm terrible at mouse and keyboard, so I had a terrible time on it. But overall, throughout the years that I continued to play COD 4, it's really good, really solid, really simple. So I'm gonna have to put that at a great. Obviously, following Modern Warfare 1, you had the classic Modern Warfare 2. Now, this was a lot of people's favorite CODs, and it's completely understandable why. The vibe and the atmosphere of it was absolutely crazy, and I wasn't there in the community in the peak too much. I was kind of late, but the community felt very strong, and technically it was pretty cool back then. Like, if you were playing MW2, you were one of the cool kids. And of course, this created sniping, this created FaZe Clan, trick shotting. This also, to be honest, pretty much created the Call of Duty YouTube scene. Everything, man. Spec Ops was super cool. I remember playing that with a homie on split screen. You already know where this is going. I'm obviously going to have to put this in GOAT, greatest of all time, up there with Black Ops 2, because those two, man, they are the best. And I think they'll only release like 3 years apart or something like that. Now, one that's just under the GOATs, that is still so high up there, is Call of Duty Black Ops 1. That game was iconic, man. It was so opposite to MW2. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, MW2 was dusty, military, where this was dark, stealthy, covert, and just a much darker vibe. Even thinking about the sounds, the weapon skins, all of that. It's so cool, it's so cold. It is only slightly shy of being one of the GOAT CODs, but it's definitely up there for me. Obviously as well, Zombies was a great addition to that. All the maps were good, the DLC ones as well. And Black Ops 1 definitely had the best gold camo, no doubt. Now the Treyarch game before Black Ops, Call of Duty World at War, I only played a little bit, and to be honest, I wasn't too fond of it. Obviously, it was a good one, but it wasn't a great one. And for that reason, we're going to put it in good. I may as well keep going on the Black Ops trend. We're going to jump over to Black Ops 3. At the start of Black Ops 3 life cycle, it wasn't too popular, but by the end of that COD cycle, it was actually very highly regarded, and even I enjoyed it heaps. As a sniper, it had no aim assist, and that made sniping really hard and challenging, but very satisfying. The camos were super cool. This is the introduction of Dark Matter, probably the best Call of Duty camo and the most known Call of Duty camo. Zombies was super fun and iconic. But yeah, man, we didn't know it at the time, but Black Ops 3 was one of the better CODs we would ever get, even with the jetpacks. They definitely nailed the jetpacks and the wall running, and for that reason, we're also going to put it in fantastic. So far, that's 3 Black Ops games towards the top, only 1 Modern Warfare game. I count this as a Black Ops game, and that's Cold War. We're going to quickly rate that. I actually think it was one of the better new-gen CODs. It felt like Black Ops 2, but remastered almost. And for that reason, I'm going to put it in the great category. I really do think that it's on the same level for me as the newest MW3, where it's really just a smooth, polished version of the ones that came before it, but nothing too innovative. Okay, I've just noticed COD Mobile on the board here. I'm just going to quickly get that out of the way. I had a lot of fun playing that, especially when it first dropped during COVID. And surprisingly, I'm actually going to put it in good. I actually think it's really cool. I think it's got a lot of fan service, and the updates that I see keep coming out look sweet. The only thing that I don't really like is the fact it's kind of a money pit. It seems like it's always banking on the customer's money to provide a good game. You know, I think they've got like loot crates and stuff like that, as any mobile game would. But yeah, COD Mobile, not great, not bad, just good. And also with playing Call of Duty on the go, I don't know if any of you guys had a PS Vita, but if you did, you would have played Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified, and I definitely played that. While it was cool, it felt very weird. It felt like you were playing on a Wii. There was full-on multiplayer, just like normal Call of Duty, which was super cool that you could do that on the go. For its innovation, I want to put it up high, but I'm not really going to do that because it wasn't great. So for that, I'm going to put it at good as well. Alright, now we definitely got some saucy ones here. A lot of Infinity Ward ones now that I'm looking at it. I'm going to start with the classic MW3. Also around that golden era of Call of Duty. No, not around. It was directly in that golden era of Call of Duty. I have very fond memories of this game, man, and I'm not trying to let that sway my decision. But I really do feel like it was a more polished version MW2. But that's kind of what made MW2 special, is that it wasn't polished. I feel like I was young back then, but the campaign felt kind of epic. And Spec Ops was actually good for couch co-op when you like kicking it with the homie or something. Not as good as Zombies, but still good. A lot of great maps and a lot of shit ones. And to be honest, I thought the weapon progression was one of the best Call of Duty's ever had. You know, grinding up to level 30 on a weapon really easily, and then the last level of a weapon takes ages, and then that unlocks you gold. I really like that system. So yeah, in my opinion, MW3, very, very good. But it's just not as saucy as the ones up there high on the list. And for that reason, we're going to put it at great. Now, COD 4 Remaster, it was kind of a cop-out of a game. Obviously, it got paired with Infinite Warfare when that came out. But I mean, it was good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. So yeah, I'm going to put it in a good. Not much to say about that one. Obviously, it's a remaster of COD 4. So yeah, speaking of, we're going to have to rate Infinite Warfare now. I don't know how many people were there when the trailer actually dropped for this game, but it honestly was like a crazy moment in history. I believe it got the most dislikes any trailer's ever got. And looking back, the fact that we got a Call of Duty in space and stuff like that is actually very cool. I almost want to replay it again. I might have to go buy this, because I feel like no one gave this game time. A lot of my homies, and even the famous COD players at the time, like FaZe Rain or something like that, they only played this game for like 3 days and called it quits. Like, that's not fair to do to a game at all. Especially Call of Duty, like, you're supposed to give COD games a year to play. Like, understandable, around 6 months in, 3 months in, you start playing other COD games. But 3 days is nasty work, man. And to be honest, we owe Infinite Warfare an apology. It was not terrible at all. It was just super unique. And I feel like I can say this because I played it until like the second DLC, maybe the third. To be honest, super slept on. Still not great. It kind of deserved some of the hate it got. Not all of it. Definitely not all of it. People were just hating to hate. But yeah, if I actually had to give it a rating, overall, I'ma chuck it in the good category. You know what? Looking at Call of Duty Mobile now, up there with all those other games, I'm gonna have to drop it down to mid, as well as COD Online. I don't know, realistically, that just seems fair to me. Anyway, we've only got a couple games we haven't ranked yet. I see the two on the side here that say Warzone, so we're going to get them overdub with. Warzone 1 man, classic. Dropped at a classic time of COVID, so of course it was going to succeed. So many memories on this, man. I feel like a lot of people couldn't play Blackout, the first Battle Royale, because they were locked out by a paywall. But the fact Warzone was free to play is absolutely insane. And I feel like everyone who was a COD fan jumped on and played, and it really was a special time when it first dropped. And looking back, it was a solid title. It was a more realistic version of COD that was a lot slower, laid back and tactical. And for that reason, I'm going to put it in good. Now, unfortunately, I can't say the same thing about Warzone 2. Like, yeah, I thought it was good technically, but as an improvement of Warzone 1, no. And I definitely stopped playing Warzone around this time, and I know a lot of people did as well. So it just makes sense if Warzone's out good, that I'm gonna put Warzone 2 in mid. Very cool that it's free, but still, man, I'm not playing that. In fact, I would rather play the newest COD, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. A lot of people hate this game right now, man, like a lot of people. And it is understandable. There's a lot of AI stuff in the game. There's a lot of corporateness in the game, and the bundles have gotten out of hand. But to be fair, when I'm looking at an overall COD list, it is not too bad. It actually is, in fact, polished. You know, it's fast-paced. The maps, at least the launch maps, were absolutely terrible. Zombies was actually pretty good. I actually found myself playing a lot of zombies in comparison to multiplayer, and usually I play multiplayer a lot more. Sniping did feel really good, but it felt very underpowered. I can't speak on the campaign. Well, I mean, I can. I played the first mission. It's not as good as everyone made it out to be. I think people were just desperate for good COD campaigns. But yeah, man, BO6 has got a lot of things right, but it's got a lot of things wrong. Even their community support right now is terrible. Like, hackers are going insane and all that sort of stuff. But to be honest, we're not basing it off that. I haven't based any of the other CODs off that sort of information. So with that being said, I'm actually going to put BO6 at good. A lot of people might disagree with that, but I think you should ask yourself the same question 3 years down the line. Ask yourself, is BO6 is good or bad? And I think you'd say good. Now, my only guilty pleasure on the list is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. This game is great, man. I actually spent a lot of time on it. And I think the way the jetpacks worked were actually very, very clever. Like the dashing and the hovering and all that sort of stuff. Very cool. The abilities, the fact that they go on your wrist, very cool. Stun grenades on your wrist. Like, this COD is so saucy, but it's still played the exact same as any other COD. Also, snipers were super fun. I feel like they really treated the snipers. And in fact, a lot of people made careers off this game because of sniping. There was recruitment challenges at the time. Like, I don't know if you guys know that much into the sniping lore, but there was FaZe, and then there was a clan called Red. They held an Advanced Warfare recruitment challenge, and they recruited so many people that ended up growing like crazy. Fun fact, one of the most interesting ones was a YouTuber called D Almighty. He went crazy on Advanced Warfare, and he ended up being like a different sort of YouTuber. Like, he swims in lakes and finds things, and his channel exploded. But anyway, he blew up because of Advanced Warfare, because it was easier for the snipers. And I think that's super cool. A lot of people hated it at the time, but it was a blessing for those who were already grinding. The campaign, man, the campaign actually felt beautiful. The campaign was solid, and all the acting in it was solid. Zombies, Exo Zombies was pretty cool. Advanced Warfare's in the guilty pleasure because it's a jetpack game, but it's a satisfying one. And a lot of people hated it for no reason. So yeah, man, we're on to the last two here. Two pretty controversial ones, to be honest. Both of these games, in my opinion, were starts of Call of Duty eras. And this current Call of Duty era has gone on for a little bit. And when I say era, I kind of mean the style of CODs. So if we're looking at Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the 2019 one, for example, it was actually very innovative from its older CODs. A lot more tactical, a lot more slower. And you can see that all future CODs beyond the release of Modern Warfare got a lot more tactical and a lot more real. But man, none of these future CODs have been as bad as this Modern Warfare. I don't want to sound like a hater, man, but this was so slow. The maps were absolutely terrible. It really encouraged bad playstyles. I'm talking camping, hardscoping across the map, all that sort of stuff. The camos were really poor. The colors were not there at all. And I don't know, man, I just did not like this game. Of course, it wasn't as trash as MW2 that followed it the next year or the year after, I think. But it is still bad when I look at all these great CODs I'm looking at right now. And for that reason, we're just going to do exactly that. Put it in bad. And you know what? Now that I'm looking at Vanguard in the trash section, I feel like I gotta bump that up one. I feel like I did that dirty. I didn't really play it too much because it was bad, so I can't really say it's trash. But yeah, we're definitely keeping MW2 there in the trash. So yeah, man, what a beautiful list we've got here. It sort of looks like it's got a classic bell curve trend. I'm talking like I'm in school or something right now, but still pretty interesting. I guess that makes sense. But yeah, right down at the bottom here, we still got one to go, and that's COD Ghosts. Now, it's super controversial, I know. Ghost dropping was probably the peak of my Call of Duty interest, especially coming off the back of BO2, my favorite COD ever, and a lot of people's favorite COD. Like, anticipation for this game was insane, and you know, the marketing for it was very cool as well. It's like if you think about a Black Ops vibe, Infinity Ward tried to do that sort of vibe in their style game, and that's how Ghost was born. It was kind of dark, more slower, more tactical. I'm talking the style of the game, not the pacing of the gameplay. But yeah, it was super cool. The campaign was actually super cool, but surprisingly, a lot of people hated it when it dropped, which really does suck because I do think it was like a new gen version of the Modern Warfare series. Gunplay actually felt really good in my opinion. Snipers were absolutely blessed, even though we didn't feel like it at the time. But yeah, just the overall identity and style of this game is actually very saucy, and a lot of people slept on it. Now, the maps weren't too memorable, I will say, but doesn't mean they were bad by any means. I would love if these Ghost servers were still populated to this day, but they really aren't. Maybe over on PC they are, but Xbox they're not. Overall, everyone did Ghost dirty. Everyone did Ghost very dirty. And Ghost deserved way less hate than it got. And a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but we're putting this up at fantastic. If I could experience the Ghost cycle again where people were still actively playing, I would love to, but it's just not like that. But to be honest, I feel like COD Ghost would sit in great, but something about it, man, the time, the era, that makes me put it in fantastic. I know I shouldn't be doing that, but I am. But yeah, man, that's my ranking for all the Call of Duties ever released. Let me know if you agree with this, man. I feel like this is going to be a long video, so if you watch this all the way to the end, you're crazy. I feel like a lot of people would have what I have at the top. There's something so special about Black Ops 2 and MW2. And you know, looking at it now, I see that I don't actually have a lot down the bottom of the board in like the bad and trash section, and it's just proof that we're kind of little brats when we were younger, like expecting so much of the Call of Duties and hating on them so quickly just because they weren't like the last one. Anyway, man, I feel like I'm about to start another rant. I'm gonna end the video here. As always, all my links are in the description. That being my clothing brand that actually has Call of Duty headshot air fresheners right now, which is super sick. So if you like COD, definitely check that out. Also, my Instagram for that brand and my personal Instagram, my streaming platforms, and my Twitter. Like I said, I'm super interested to hear what you say, so let me know in the comments. And yeah, it's been Once Faded. Peace.